Good evening and welcome to episode 22 of the Vegan Hour on, what is it, Tuesday, October the 30th. I had to look then. Tonight I am joined by Adam Guthrie from I Feel Good magazine. Thank you for coming along, Adam.
Oh, my pleasure. We're like brothers.
Look at that. We're brothers from
another mother.
Okay. Right. So tonight, this is episode 22. I just want to mention before we get tonight's show happening that it's going to be really, really empowering and exciting to hear about Adam's journey to vital health, basically. So you want to stick around and hear that. But first, the Vegan Hour is presented by some wonderful vegan businesses. Behind me you can see their vegan frothers. That's a great place to get your cruelty-free clothing from. That's it, yeah. And I can see people coming online too, which is awesome. So we've got vegan frothers. We've got Seth's Vegan home delivered pies, and I've just had a delivery from Seth's Vegan. And I've been eating their breakfast sausage roll. I'm going to put some photos up later, but wow. It's it's pretty good. Actually, it's really, really good. So we've got some pies here, we've got some VFC, and we've got some breakfast sausage rolls, which you'll be able to get this Saturday at the World Vegan Day, which I'm going to mention about in a minute. And what else? We've got Scindian Natural Foods products. So Scindian Natural Food products you can get in the supermarkets that around Australia. So all of these people proudly present the Vegan Hour. And we've already got the first comment coming up there from Matt saying, Mr. Harry and Adam, it's been a while since I've watched the Vegan Hour. Looking forward to this episode, bro. I'm looking forward to hearing and being inspired by Adam's journey. So let's just have a quick look before we get going. Also, what's happening this week with events. Tomorrow, Wednesday, October the 31st, you want to be at Elixir Bar because it's an all-new menu. And you go to Elixir Bar,
yeah, there's one in Bolman.
Yeah, there's one in Bolman. Yeah. So that's why I asked. So they've got an all-new menu, and it's a pay what you feel day tomorrow. So yeah, pay them heaps or pay them slightly less than heaps. Also, as I mentioned previously, if you're on the Gold Coast this Saturday, it's World Vegan Day from 9 a.m. at the Robina State School. And there is going to be heaps of stalls. I think it's something like 85 stalls. There's going to be lots of vegan food. There's going to be speakers, vegan speakers. There's going to be just everything to keep you interested all day. So you want to get along there because there'll be quite a few of us going along there to support it. So if you missed the introduction, I have Adam Guthrie from I Feel Good magazine with me tonight. The punchline that we've used is from heart attack to Ironman. And which is really quite a journey to go from one to the other. It's quite a journey. So I'm really looking forward to finding out, how this transition happened for you. And I'm hoping, as our viewers, as you're watching, that if you've got any questions, just throw them in, and we'll field your questions when we can get to them. Okay, so. Adam, you mean Harry? Yeah, I thought you said Gary then.
I said Harry.
It says this here. Yeah. So I believe in the early days, before you went vegan and all that, you were actually vegetarian.
Yeah.
So shall we sort of go back and sort of start with your foundation of say maybe why you went vegetarian, and then how that's sort of gone for you from there. So start us with that.
Yeah, I was 21 years old.
Oh, I remember those days.
They were great days.
Oh, fantastic.
And I was actually, my 21st birthday was a really big night. And I drank a lot that night.
Right.
And for the next 3 months, the party continued.
Wow.
And I actually was sitting in a pub one night, a few months after my birthday, sitting in a corner, drinking a schooner of beer, thinking every single person in this room is talking about me. I was like totally paranoid. And
you were really?
Totally paranoid.
Okay.
I'd gone into this depression, and alcohol isn't a good thing for me. I actually haven't had a drink since.
Fantastic.
I'm 30,
That's fantastic.
Now, 48 now. I haven't had a drink ever since.
Congratulations, that's fantastic.
Yeah. But I left I left that pub that night thinking I'm either not going to be alive in the morning because I might kill myself.
Wow.
Or if I do wake up in the morning, am I alive? I will change my life. And I came across a book called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay.
Louise Hay, yes.
And that's the first thing that popped in my head that next morning. Because someone had mentioned it like a year ago, and I got that book, took a month off work, and I did all the exercises in it. Wow. And she was talking about working on the body, the mind, and the spirit. Yeah. And
you were in a position where you actually were able to take time off work to be able to do it, which was a fortunate thing.
Very fortunate thing.
Yes.
And I followed it, and so I thought my body, I was a bit overweight from drinking a lot, and I thought, well, I'll work on the body first because that's out of shape. So I went to a naturopath, and she got me onto a plant-based diet. Louise Hay was talking about eating more plants and more vegetables. So I started eating that way, and my health came back really fast.
That's good.
And then I started working on the mind with affirmations and things like that, and that was really helping. And then I went to this naturopath one day and said, look, I'm feeling really good, everything's working out. But Louise Hay's talking about body, mind, and spirit. Do you know anything about the spirit? Because I grew up, as a Catholic, and that's all I knew was about religion was that.
Yes.
And she said, well, Adam, there's a whole bunch of books out there in our foyer, all on Eastern philosophy. You can take anyone home and read it.
Yes.
So I did. Yeah. And I read one, it's called Liberation of the Soul.
Okay.
And it talked about how to eat in a way to access consciousness, to become more aware of that we're actually a spirit. Having a human experience rather than a human having a spiritual experience. And they were saying the way to access that intuition and that life force that is in all of us is to have a vegetarian diet. And back then...
So they were suggesting a vegetarian diet.
A lacto-vegetarian diet.
Okay, yeah.
So I did, I followed that. Yes. And I ate that great. And all through my 20s, I was fit, I had a great time, really super healthy. Yeah. But then still something felt like was missing in my life. And I couldn't work out what it was. And I thought I'd find the happiness that I was looking for in business.
Ah, right. So you wanted to find the happiness through success.
Through success.
Yes, yeah.
So I did. I threw myself into that. And
what sort of business did you throw yourself into?
Well, when I left school, I was a chef.
Right.
And I had some cafes in my 20s. And we actually lived up here on the Gold Coast back then, and we worked at what was a vegetarian restaurant.
Well, that's right. Elephant Rock Cafe, yes.
Yeah, but I was doing vegetarian cooking classes at the time, and I couldn't make them work. And
were you doing it from the cafe?
No, I was actually doing it at the school down in Brumden.
Okay, yeah.
Used to hire that out. Yeah, and people, I'd get a few people, but it wasn't enough to make a living.
Right, yeah.
And I thought, I need to learn sales and marketing.
Yes.
So my parents had a real estate agency on Berry on the south coast, and I rang my dad and I said, can I come and work for you? I want to learn sales and marketing. He said, no, I don't need anybody. But I said, you're my dad, man. You should make me work for you. And he said, look, I don't need anyone. But anyway, I kept bugging him, and he finally said yes. And so I started working with them, and that went for 13 years. I think it was 1994 to 2003. Yeah. 2003, so it's 10, 11 years. And during that period of time, I started putting on a lot of weight because I focused on business as opposed to my health. Yeah. And I'd be driving around, I'd pull into a service station, because you're always in the car, and I'd come out with a bottle of Coke, packed all the chips, or an iced coffee move. Yeah, right, yep. And the dairy. Yeah, the dairy. Yep. I go home, I still wasn't, I was really enjoying building that business. And I got, when you paint a picture, you have a vision of something, I'm painting that picture, and I knew where I wanted to head with it. And then I hit it in 2003. Right. And that was great. We all celebrated. And then a few months later, I'm going, is this all there is? Yeah. So I went in a deep hole. I left real estate. Yeah. I started training, business coaching and training. And went on a journey of doing that, but once again, I couldn't actually make that work, and I nearly went bankrupt doing that.
Wow. Okay.
Training agents and
right.
spending lots of money and not bringing in much. Even though my clients were very successful, but for some reason the one-to-one coaching didn't seem to work. It was not a great model.
Okay.
And I put on a lot of weight even more.
Wow.
And I went to 110 kilos.
How much? 110 kilos.
So I'm now like 77 kilos. 77 kilos now, and I went to 110.
Wow.
And back then I was around 75, 77, 80 kilos. So I had this, and then, it was in 2009. I woke up one morning to a phone call from a mate, Kent Ladkin, who owns a surf shop down in Gerringong, where I lived. He rang me and said, Adam, the surf is going off. I'll meet you in the car park at Werry Point in 15 minutes. So we head down the beach, meet him there, the car park's full, and there's no one in the ocean because, the swell's 12 foot. It's massive.
Wow.
So he and I like big waves, and we go, let's do it. So we just put on our suits, jumped off the point, a few guys followed us out, and I paddled into this first wave, beautiful wave, double overhead, a lot of water, and pulled off, and then I saw this set building on the horizon of swell. And I thought, if I don't get over this set, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. Number one, I'm on a longboard that's hard to duck dive, and I'm really out of shape. I'm 110 kilos. And so I paddle, get over this first one, paddle, get over the second one, paddle, get over the third one, only just, and then this fourth one is like this mountain.
Oh.
I just remember paddling up this thing, and just as it started to curl over, I'm going, so I gave it everything I had, and I pushed to the other side, and bang. I got this pain in my chest, down my left side, in my shoulder blade, and I just thought I pulled a muscle. And it didn't go away. So I paddled in, went home, had a shower, came downstairs, sat down like we are in front of the computer now, and started doing some paperwork, and then it happened. I get this crushing pain in my chest. I get this nausea. I get this cold sweat. I got this pain radiating down my left arm and in the middle of my back and my shoulder blade and in my jaw. And I didn't know what was happening. And my wife wasn't around, so I rang my mother-in-law and she took me to hospital. Now, if you ever get those symptoms, guys, that's a heart attack. If you get that crushing pain, who's got siblings? Anyone got siblings that, they used to sit on top of your chest when you were a kid? Okay, and you can't get them off? Times it by 100. It's like an elephant. Okay, and you can't get it off. And so I did, we went to the hospital, they rushed me in, hooked me up with all these wires, came back and said, Adam, you've had a heart attack.
Wow.
And I said, I don't think so. I can't.
You were going to argue with them.
I said, how could I be? I'm vegetarian. I'm meant to be one of the lowest risks. And I'm only 39 years old. And I said, well, Adam, the nurse said, Adam, I'm sorry, but man, you've had a heart attack.
Wow.
And it really rocked me.
I can imagine. That was a massive wake-up call. It
was a massive wake-up call. And they kept me in hospital. They actually flew me to Sydney, had an angiogram. It was a tear. Actually, this is interesting. You know how a lot of guys, fit guys, have been falling over in the gym and on their bikes and unfortunately dying? There
has been a few, yes.
Okay, that's happening because of what happened to me. A lot of people don't realise this, but a lot of heart attacks happen before the arteries get fully blocked.
Right.
What happens as the plaque's just building up in the artery, the endothelial cells, which are the cells that line the inside wall of the artery, get a little bit brittle. And if you overexert or get a bit of thick blood run across it, the inside wall of your artery just under the plaque tears. And then a blood clot forms to try and heal that and stops the blood flow. That's what's happening to all these guys.
Yes.
Myocardial infarction, heart attack, little tear. But if you can make it through that, it doesn't happen until you're really old and you've got blockages of plaque right through the arteries. So that's what happened to me.
Wow.
And so they gave me all these meds, sent me home. There's 5 of them, beta blockers, and I can't remember them, and I don't want to remember them. It was 9 years ago. I don't want to go back there. So they gave me those 5 medications, and I took them religiously. And then a month after the heart attack. Actually, while I was recovering, I was actually quite scared. I was very vulnerable. I was worried that it would happen again.
What about, can I ask you, how did your wife react to it, and your other family members and that? They were quite shocked in that by it as well, I guess?
Yeah, everyone was really shocked.
Really concerned.
And we're all, my wife was scared that, and she was very worried that it could happen again to me. Like we all were, and that's the biggest fear.
Yeah.
You become very vulnerable, you lose a lot of masculinity.
Yeah.
That power that just can make anything happen, that disappeared. That fear of doing
that
stuff.
power that was actually fake in the first place.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. So that vulnerability was a good thing. It taught me about vulnerability.
Yes.
And so so I'm sitting on the couch and someone gave me the China study.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So I'm reading the China study and on the couch, and then I'm thinking, well, maybe that was a lot about dairy, the casein in dairy.
And at this point, as a vegetarian, you've been vegetarian, how many years? 13 years or something, or more than that? 21 to 30. Oh, you've been like 38 years.
21 to 39. So
not 38 years. Sorry,
18
years. 18 years you've been vegetarian. Had you been having a lot of dairy?
Heaps.
A lot of cheese, a lot of milk.
I'd been known to sit and eat a whole round of brie.
Oh,
in one sitting.
Okay.
I'd eat a pizza every few nights with cheese on it.
Right.
And because I was a little depressed in that period of time, I would sit and eat a whole tub of ice cream watching TV.
So you were getting a huge amount of saturated fat.
Which raises cholesterol in the body.
Yeah.
The higher cholesterol in the body, the more risk you are of having a heart attack.
Yes.
And so I'm reading this book and going, well, maybe what I was eating was what caused this bloody heart attack. And so I went to the cardiologist a month later. You got to go and see him. And I said to him, I sat down with him and I said, look, I'm not feeling too good. I actually feel really flat. I've lost my mojo. Life is dull. I'm an enthusiastic guy. And he said, well, Adam, there's sort of side effects of the medications. Yeah. And I got to tell you, you're going to be on them for the rest of your life.
Jeez.
And you need to get used to it. And I went, I'm not getting used to living like this. There's no way. Yeah. And he said, well, Adam, look, we might be able to tweak things later, but this is your lot in life now. And I went and bantered with him for a bit, and I left. Yeah. And when I got home, I Googled how to reverse heart disease with food.
Oh, yes.
And what came up, Caldwell Esselstyn came up. John McDougall came up. Furman came up. Michael Clapper came up. All these plant-based doctors.
All the plant-based US doctors,
And they all had evidence that, and patients that had reversed heart disease with food. Yeah. A whole food, plant-based, vegan diet.
Some of these doctors have been doing it for decades with their patients.
Yeah. 40 years.
40 years? Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's fantastic. Isn't
it is. Yeah. So they became my mentors, and I started to eat that way. Yes. And as a result of that.
Straight away, like overnight? Did you overnight you went, there's a dairy, forget it.
Dairy's gone.
Dairy's gone.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I had a big reason to get rid of it. Obviously, I didn't want to have another one.
Exactly.
These guys had proof that it was that it could happen, and I thought, I'm a chef. I can actually make this food, and I did. So I did.
So turn your talents to that. Yeah.
6 months later. Yeah. I'm off all medications.
That's fantastic.
Yep. And I haven't had to take them since.
That is fantastic, and that was what, 9 years ago now?
9 years ago now. I get my bloods done every year.
Okay, so you went off medication 6 months later. Did you go back to the same doctor that had prescribed them, or had said to you that you had to keep taking them?
I haven't been back to that cardiologist since.
Cardiologist, yeah.
I'm just because it would have been interesting.
It would have been interesting to go back to him and say, "Hey, guess what?"
I actually might do that. But I went to my local GP who been our family doctor for years, and he said, I can't really take you off these, but all your numbers are really good. Only cardiologist can. I just decided, based on what he said, I decided I wouldn't take them anymore. And then I monitored it every year, and my cholesterol, when I had the heart attack, was 4.8, which is in the healthy range. And this is interesting. A lot of people have heart attacks in the healthy range. But the plant-based doctors want to get you to 3.9. Okay. And most cardiologists want to get you to 3.9, and they use medications to get you there.
Yeah.
because it's very, very low risk. Hardly anyone's had a heart attack under 3.9. And my cholesterol now is 3.6.
Oh, that's good.
And the plant-based doctors call that heart attack proof.
Fantastic. So I am so curious to go home and check my
cholesterol
in my level, because I've got a recent blood thing, so I'm curious I'll be checking that. Everyone should be checking that. I want people to check it and post it on the live stream. We see some figures here. I'd be curious if you can give us some figures. But I've been so enthralled about hearing. I haven't responded to anyone's. Well, we had probably the best comment from Luba saying, 2 vegan brothers, twins.
Yeah.
And Damien said hello like about 20 minutes ago, and Sandra and...
it's Tony Lupton. Hey, Tony, how you doing? She's in my program.
Oh, great.
She's actually amazing. She has lost 30 kilos. She's reduced her cholesterol massively.
Fantastic.
She's doing really well eating a whole food, plant-based vegan diet.
I was saying hello. Anastasia says hi. I'm going to ask you about that program as well too, right? Sure. We'll get onto that. What have we got here? Sarah says, definitely a lifestyle disease, but as you said, everything in balance. Nutrition, stress control, and monitoring our thoughts and emotions, all factors for health, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's what Louise Hay was saying with You Can Heal Your Life.
Totally. And that's what we teach in our program. Eat, move, and pause.
And pause.
And there's two
so
others.
that you don't burn yourself out.
Yeah, and you've got to stop. You know, you've got to rest, you've got to sleep, you've got to recharge, you've got to,
you've got to rest the mind, you've got to rest the body.
Meditation is the
meditation, of course.
And there's two others. There's community.
Yeah. Yes.
And there's also working on your belief system.
Yes.
Because a lot of people believe that, you know, certain things are healthy, but you've got to be careful of your beliefs because they may not be true, because you might think that protein is only from meat. Yeah. But it's not.
Yeah.
Every plant that grows out of the ground has protein. Every plant.
And why,
even a lettuce leaf.
And why get it secondhand through the animal when you'd be getting it directly from the source?
Totally.
Yes. Without killing the animal.
Yeah, absolutely. So I 100% agree.
So people can have strong beliefs. They can be very, very sincere in these beliefs, but they can be sincerely wrong.
Totally.
You know, and that's, 100%. So it's, Anastasia also says, I had a heart attack and nearly died. It was a wake-up call. I stopped eating meat, milk, sugar, bread. I became healthy enough for the doctor to stop most of my medications, and now I'm vegan for the animals. Fantastic. That is
well done.
Beautiful. Julie says, hi, Adam.
Hi, Julie. She's another one in my program.
Fantastic.
She's actually an I Feel Good coach now. She actually coaches my program.
Okay, so we'll get into talking about that shortly. And John says, Adam, you have a great way of articulating and cyber vibe. He also has the best barber around too.
It's called a razor, Gillette.
Okay, so Tony's cholesterol went from 6.1 down to 4.3 in 12 months. That's that's impressive. That's impressive.
High five, Tony.
That's very good. Yeah, wow. So, okay. Now you lost 30 kilograms.
30 kilos. It's 32 now.
32. Over what period of time did that take?
Okay, I lost about
a year maybe. Or,
I lost 3 years to get
3 years
to get down to that.
Yeah.
And a lot of it went in the first year.
Yeah.
Like a good 10, 15 kilos. Yeah.
And then it just started to sort of
slowly afterwards.
Yeah. Okay.
Drift away. Yep.
So overnight you've ditched the dairy.
Yeah.
And within 6 months you're off the meds.
Yeah.
So how's your state of mind then at this point? How's your how are you feeling about life at this point? Is it confident? Yes.
Confidence gone up.
Definitely, it would have gone up
a lot,
enormously, wouldn't it? Yeah, definitely. Because you're like, wow, I'm getting on top of this. I'm in control.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I'm in control again. I feel like life's going to be good. I feel like I'm out of the danger zone, but it's still, I had the worry for a long time. Yeah. Even when I was training for the Ironman, I still had a little bit of a worry.
So, okay, tell us about the Ironman. How did you go from heart attack to Ironman? That sounds like a punchline or something, doesn't it?
Yeah. How did that happen?
Yeah, how did that happen?
A couple of years after the heart attack, my wife Rue bought me a bike, a push bike.
Yes.
And
good.
I started cycling.
Good on you, Rue.
Yeah. Thanks, City. I started riding with the local bike club on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And one morning we have coffee afterwards, and a guy said to me, "Oh, Adam, a few of us are training for an Ironman. We're doing a swim on Monday morning. Do you want to join us?" And I said, "Yeah, I used to be a swimmer when I was young. That was my sport. I'd love to jump in the pool." So went with them that morning, had a swim, and then we're driving back home.
Yeah.
I tell him that I'd had this heart attack, and he goes, "Oh, that's really interesting. And you're not on any medications anymore?" I said, "No." And he says, he said, "Why is that interesting to you?" He goes, "Well, I'm a doctor." And he said, and then he goes, "I've got this idea. You know, it would be super cool to take you from MI, myocardial infarction, heart attack, to Ironman." And I went,
"That's good."
And I went, "Really?" And he said, "Absolutely. I'm a doctor. I've done 8 Ironman triathlons." He said, "I can get you there." Now, when I was a kid, I used to admire those endurance sports, like the Ironman, the Uncle Toby's ones, and also the triathlon ones, which I did. Yeah. And I thought I could never be that fit to actually do those distances. I thought it was superhuman.
Yeah.
And here's me, an ordinary guy, a young kid. Yeah, I used to play rugby league. I used to surf. I used to love cricket. And I used to be okay at long distance running a little bit, but I thought there's no way I could do those distances. And an Ironman is a 3.8 kilometre swim, followed by a 180 kilometre bike ride, and then a marathon, a 42 kilometre run. And you have 17 hours to do it. And what the point is, this is the guys that are pros. They do it in 8 to 9 hours.
Wow.
However, someone just broke it the other day in Kona in Hawaii, under 8 hours.
Wow.
Like massive.
That's a new world record, isn't it?
New world record, under 8 hours. I just broke the 8 hours. And the fit guys do it in around 10 or 12 hours.
Wow.
I did it in 14 hours.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Being able to do it at all is just,
Oh, totally. And
amazing,
it was tough to train. It was a lot of effort. It took a few years to do.
I could imagine it would.
In actual fact, what happened, I tore my hamstring tendon in the first year. I booked into it in 2014. I did it in 2015, but I booked for 2014, paid for it, everything. And I got this tear about 3 months out and it didn't heal. So I went up with all of my mates who were doing it, and they and I watched, and I thought, thank God I injured myself, because I wasn't ready. I had no idea how long this was. These guys were leaving at dawn and coming back way overnight.
Past midnight?
Past before midnight, but you know, coming in after dark and up to midnight, you basically have. And I thought, there's no way I was ready. And but when someone that's competing crosses the finish line, this spruiker goes, "You are an Ironman," and they say your name. So they go, "Harry, you are an Ironman." And this was ringing in my head, and I started hearing, "Adam, you are an Ironman." I'm just hearing it over and over again. And then I said to John, who was the guy who coached me, the doctor, I said, "Man, I'm in for next year. Let's do it. I just hear this voice."
And that voice became the mental motivation, didn't it?
It sure did. I could visualise it and hear it, the finish line, and I could see myself crossing it and hearing those words. So I started training again with him. I got this fixed. He put me on some good specialists. We got it fixed. And we trained and we trained and we trained. And then the Ironman event was pretty incredible event. I got out of the water pretty quick. In just over an hour and 4 minutes or something.
So 3.8 kilometres.
Which is pretty fair. I was one of the first out. It was not bad. And then the bike ride was pretty good. I did that in 6.5 hours.
180 kilometres in 6.5 hours. Wow.
And then I jumped off the bike and I started to run. And 200 metres in, I get these severe cramps. Like in my gut, I'm crunched over. I can't move, and tried to go to the bathroom, couldn't go. And then I saw a mate of mine had just done the half marathon, a half Ironman, and he said, "What's up?" I said, "Man, I can't move. I'm just cramped." And I said, "I'm going to have to bail. I'm going to have to pull out." And he said, "Mate, Adam, I've done the numbers. You could walk the 42 Ks and you're still going to come under 17 hours. So sit down, it'll come good."
Right.
And what I learned from that, you need a team around us.
Yes.
If I try to it's so important to have community around you to do something. Because I couldn't have got there without a coach.
That's true.
I couldn't have got there without that guy, a mate of mine on the sideline, to say, Adam, it's okay, sit down, relax. And it came good. And then I got moving again and crossed the finish line. The last 8Ks were pretty tough. I walked most of that. But as soon as I got to the chute, I start running. And I crossed the finish line. And they go, Adam Guthrie, you're an Ironman. But what was really special, the guy who coached me, he was on the other side of the finish line with his towel.
Yeah.
And he wraps it around me.
Yeah.
And I just fall into him.
Yeah.
And I just cry.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I love it.
One
it's
of
beautiful.
the most
I love it. It's beautiful. I'm touched hearing it. I love it. So this is the doctor you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coached you. Is he plant-based or vegan himself or not?
He's not 100% plant-based, but he's vegetarian.
Right.
I haven't seen him for a few years, so
Okay,
I'm not sure what he's doing now. But when we were training, he was, he was vegetarian, if not 100%, very, very close to that.
Right. Okay. There's a couple of comments here. Anastasia says, we have a second chance of a longer life when we give up animal products. My doctor can't believe my cholesterol levels are perfect after giving up meat and dairy. Meat has heme iron, which is not compatible to the human body. Vegetables have the right iron for our bodies. And that's an interesting one, actually, the heme iron, because it often comes up as a whole discrediting of why you, like a meat eater will say, oh, you've got to have it because you've got to have the heme iron, so it's amazing. Again, it's like having the wrong beliefs you were saying earlier, right? Yeah. And Sarah says, I'm a personal trainer and yoga teacher. You're an inspiration.
Thank you.
He is. Tonight we're being inspired by going from a heart attack at 39 to running a marathon, which just hearing an Ironman, which
wasn't included in it.
Yeah, that's a marathon is in an Ironman, which just hearing about it, I got tired hearing about it. I can't imagine what it's like doing it. Incredible. How many competitors were like usually in a night? Hundreds of competitors.
Hundreds of people.
Hundreds. Yeah. Okay. What's a dropout rate like on that?
Look, I don't know.
I should imagine quite a few.
Yeah, I think, and I'm sure some people don't get in for the 17 hours. And
okay.
It's a long way. It's long.
That's incredible. Yeah,
a lot do it though, and it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
And it's
Okay, so that was that was 2014, was it when you did that?
2015.
2015. That's only 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh wow, geez, that's Okay, so we're nearly up to present day. So so you've done your Ironman, and you're feeling pretty motivated and pumped, I guess. Mm-hmm. Where do you go from there?
To Bali.
Oh, why?
we went and we sold up everything and we went and lived in Bali.
You went and moved to for
3 years.
Okay.
It was actually, I think it was for a couple of years we were there.
Right,
we took
you
our
wanted
kids.
You wanted to see change.
Wanted to see change, but more importantly, our kids wanted to go to the Green School, which is an environmental school.
Great.
And so my wife decided that we'd do that, and we all went over.
So this is good. The kids were the ones that wanted to do it. Yeah.
Well, my wife actually wanted to.
Oh. I was going to say very progressive kids.
Anyway, we ended up going to Bali to do that, and that was really nice. And while we were in Bali, actually, after the heart attack, about a year or two after, Forks Over Knives came out.
Right.
And I did the E. Cornell Plant-Based Nutrition course.
Yes.
And I developed an app. Actually, the I Feel Good magazine is an online magazine, and it's delivered in the iTunes store through an app.
Okay.
And I developed that for a meal plan to help me stay on track with my eating.
Right.
Back then.
Right.
About 5, 6, 7
What, you
years
developed
ago.
it for yourself?
Yeah, for myself.
Oh, okay.
And, but as I was doing these meal plans, I thought others might benefit them as well. So we turned it into an app and put it up there.
Yeah.
And it went crazy.
Fantastic.
Even now, if you type in vegan in the Australian store, we're from 1 to 10, somewhere floating there.
Yep.
We have about 10,000 downloads a month.
Fantastic. And it's a weekly, I Feel Good is a weekly online magazine. Yeah. It's not on Android at the moment?
Yeah, it's on Android.
Oh, it's on Android as well. Okay, so it's on Android and that other system we never talk about. I think they call it Crapple or something. So it's on there. Not that anyone uses it. But
they're beautiful. They're on that.
Anyway, and it's a weekly magazine.
Weekly magazine. Yeah. It has a meal plan, and that's been running like that. So it's like 5 weeknight meals.
Yeah. With
a shopping list and a prep list and has the recipe, has a video on how to make each recipe. And then it has, at the moment, we just feature plant-based doctors and nutrition type experts, and we put one of their videos in. But now it's expanding into a magazine, a bigger magazine, where it's more about well-being, where it's incorporating meditation, yoga, movement, environment, compassion for animals, animal rights, everything to do plant-based. And it's for people like us, who've been doing it this way a long time, to get more inspiration, and or for people that are curious about this to start dipping their toe in the water.
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
Yeah. I just want to go back to what we're talking about with the Ironman. Anastasia has a question in relation to that. How do you start running after a heart attack? Is it safe to start running after a heart attack?
Well, the doctors encourage you. Anastasia, was it you that had the heart attack?
Yes, I think it was. Yes.
How long ago did you have it? The doctors told me you need to walk from day one as soon as you get home from hospital. It was scary to walk.
Okay.
So I started to walk, and I didn't really start running till a couple of years after, like 2 years after.
Yeah.
But I was walking every day. And then I got an app, Couch to 5Ks.
What's it called?
Couch to 5Ks. Okay. And it took me from being on this couch to be able to run around the block, then run my first 5Ks.
Okay.
After a heart attack.
You said when you first started walking, it was scary.
Yeah.
What were you scared of?
That I might have another heart attack.
So were you really?
Very vulnerable.
Yeah. So I mean, you're vulnerable in an emotional sense because of what's happening. It's like you feel like you face death, and that also sort of restricts you in your physical side, doesn't it? It's sort of like, well, I've got to go really easy and can't push too hard. Yeah. Exactly. So you sort of you have to sort of slowly get through that barrier, don't you? Yeah. So, and apparently Anastasia loves my blue vegan shirt. That's cool. I love it too. Thank you. So you eased yourself into it, as all good things.
I eased myself into it and just steady and got fitter
Yeah.
It's definitely possible. I mean, always work with your doctor. Everyone that does our programs, they get a letter to take to the doctor. We want to make sure that you need to work in conjunction with them. And if you eat a plant-based diet, they end up taking you off medications because everything drops, and they have to, because the medications become dangerous if you keep taking them as your cholesterol drops or your blood sugars drop and all that sort of stuff. So it's very important that if you start a whole food plant-based vegan diet, that you do it, and you're on medications, you do it in conjunction with the doctor. They have to end up taking you off if your numbers drop. And if you are doing it without their support, and you're not monitoring this stuff, it can be quite dangerous.
Yeah, that's very good advice. Tony, who is in your program, says, have been doing, as Adam is talking about, the I Feel Good program for 10 months, 31.5 kilograms gone, can recommend it to anyone who wants to go whole foods, plant-based.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's plenty of people like Tony. Like we've had 250 people do it in the last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this program, tell us more about this program. How is it?
Come about?
Yeah. How does it come about, and how do people get involved in it and that?
Okay. So it came about after the Ironman, and a lot of people started asking me, "How did you make the transformation?"
Yes.
And so I thought I'd put together a program, and I started with a 4-week program to take people through teaching them exactly what a whole food plant-based diet is, and how to practically incorporate it into your lifestyle. Because, a lot of people have got the theory, they got all the knowledge, but they don't know actually how to, take that knowledge and apply it in everyday life.
Do you find there's a bit of a stumbling block there for people because just what they're used to, and it's a little bit habits? Yeah.
So we teach people how to change the habit.
Okay, that's good.
Going from a meat-eating diet all their life to transitioning to a whole food, plant-based vegan diet, 100% vegan or whole foods. And we teach them the nutritional information around a vegan plant-based diet.
Good.
The importance of whole foods as opposed to non-whole food vegan foods, the difference.
Yes.
And so it's meal plans, it's educational videos on the nutrition, and we have a community where I do a live training every week on a Wednesday night. for an hour, and you can ask questions any day in the Facebook group, and I answer them every day. And transformation is amazing. And now I took it from the 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And what happens in 4 weeks? This is consistent. Those that go get their blood test done before and after, blood pressure comes down, cholesterol drops, they lose between 2 to 10 kilos.
Between 2 to 10?
10.
Yes. Okay.
And they feel amazing. Like the energy explodes.
In what period of time on average? In
5 weeks.
4
to 5 weeks.
4 to 5 weeks.
Consistent. And it's consistent.
Wow.
And after that, you know, what I discovered that people then started to treat it a bit like a diet, and then they went back to their old habits after the 5 weeks. Some of them did, you know, and that's part of change. People actually drop off because their old habits and their environments aren't set yet. So then I actually added to it to make it a year program of support.
Good.
Support.
Good.
And what we find now, people do the 4 weeks, stay on, then they might fall away. And then they realize, oh, I'm not feeling too good again, and they come back.
Right.
And then and it's just a natural process.
Yes. Yeah.
And of habit change.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you know, we got people now sustaining it like crazy.
That is fantastic. I
Yeah,
mean,
transformation's been huge. You know, people. One lady, Julie Blake, there, who's one of our coaches, she had psoriasis, a skin condition, for 30 years.
Wow.
30 years.
Wow.
And then she, in 2 weeks of doing the I Feel Good program, it's gone. It's a year later now, and it's never returned.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's not the only one. There's Julie Lowe. She's like type 2 diabetics, two of them.
Yeah.
12 weeks, no more diabetes, off all meds. It's been a year later and they're still no longer diabetic.
I
it's
love
that powerful, guys. It's that powerful. It's amazing.
I love it because that's the way the body should respond when it's given the right fuel, right? It should. All these symptoms, you know, psoriasis and type 2 diabetes and all these conditions and that, right, are symptoms of obviously the wrong fuel being put in, you know.
Totally. So. Actually, Dr. Kim Williams, he's the head of cardiology, the College of Cardiology in America.
In America, yes.
I spoke with him down in Melbourne, and then I interviewed him afterwards.
Okay, yeah.
And it's... I said to him, how does a whole food, plant-based vegan diet reverse heart disease? How did it reverse my heart disease?
Right.
And he said, Adam, you know, it's an anti-inflammatory diet, but it's actually not the reason.
Oh.
He said that helps. But he said, what really is the problem is the foods that you eat that cause the inflammation.
Right.
And he said the foods that cause the inflammation are meat, dairy, eggs, all the animal products, and processed foods. And he said as soon as you take those away from the body, what actually happens is the body goes back to homeostasis. It just heals itself. Now you've got to eat something, so you're going to eat plants. And he said the beautiful thing about plants, it also has all these antioxidants, it's anti-inflammatory, so you're getting the double whammy and you just heal super quick. He said that's why...
Physician, heal thyself.
Yeah, totally.
That was Socrates, wasn't it?
Yeah. Socrates.
A long time ago. I remember it. I didn't know him, but I knew his mum. Couple of comments.
In the past life.
That's right, in the past life.
I was him. I was
I wouldn't be surprised. A comment there from Sarah, which sounds really good. Sarah is currently doing a degree in nutrition via La Trobe University. Veganism is now very much endorsed and no longer viewed as extreme. Yep. That's fantastic.
Totally.
That is
fantastic.
The times are changing. Bobby says, hi Adam.
Hey Bobby.
Anastasia says, most of the vegan foods are processed and not so good for us. Can you advise how much of these vegan meals that are processed can we have? You'll probably say none. No.
Okay, this is my stance on it, and this is how I eat. At home, I'm 100% whole food, plant-based. So that's no oil and it's no processed foods. It's just food in the way nature hands it to you. Nature hasn't got it wrong. And what I learned through doing my plant-based nutrition course is that when you eat food in the way nature hands it to you, like an apple or any food in its natural form, all the proteins, all the carbohydrates, all the fats, and all the vitamin and minerals and the fiber are all mixed together in their perfect proportions. And when you consume food like that, the body knows what to do with it to assimilate it into your body for nutrition. However, once you isolate the protein or the carbohydrate and turn it into, you know, white sugars, and you turn the grains into flours, white flours, not wholemeal flours, then what happens is the body doesn't know what to do with it and becomes sick.
Yeah.
So even as a vegan, if you're eating all the processed foods and the junk foods, and the white flours and the white pastas and you know, all the ice creams that are available, all those things now, it's not going to be the best for your health. However, having said that, at home, I'm 100% whole food plant-based. But when I go out for dinner, I don't worry. I just eat vegan. You know, I look for vegan restaurants, get out Happy Cow app, and I go. And I don't worry about it. You know, and I eat out, you know, once a week or once a month. I just don't worry about it. I do look for on the menu the ones that are least processed. But you know, I'll have one of those vegan burgers every now and then. And I'll have a vegan pie every now and then. But it's very rare. Yeah.
So you're keeping it under control.
Totally. You know, people go, what, you know, balance. But what's balance really? You know, what is balance? You know, I have 3 questions that I teach everyone in our program. Okay, people say to me, Adam, is this good, or is this good, or is this bad? This is the only questions you need to remember. They are, first of all, ask the question, is it a plant? If that's a yes.
We're talking about 3 questions.
3 questions to know, because a lot of people ask me, you know, what's healthy to eat, what's good to eat, what's bad to eat. These are the 3 questions that I developed for myself and I teach everyone else to do now.
Actually, good question from John. When you ask, is it a plant, does the plant need to say yes? Oh, that's good. That's good.
Plants listen to you, you know. They love it. They love it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Okay, so the first question was, is it a plant?
First question is it a plant?
Is it a plant?
If the answer is yes, okay, that's cool. The second question is it in the form that nature handed it to you?
Right.
If that second question is yes, then eat it. It's healthy. There's no superfood except that. Better food the way nature handed it to you. That's a superfood. So that's my criteria, and eat that as much as you can. Like 99% of the time.
So a raw plant-based diet?
Not even raw. No, I mean, you can cook it. Cooked or raw, doesn't matter, but it's just as long as it's unprocessed, you know.
Yeah, and Bobby says you're getting younger and younger.
It's true. It actually reverses the aging process.
Yes.
You'll probably pop up one of those photos of me when I was 39, 110 kilos. I looked 59.
Yes,
you know, and I'm 40,
that's right. I did have yes. So is it a plant? Is it in its natural
is it in the form that nature
intended? Yes. The ultimate fast food.
Ultimate fast food.
Fruit. Yeah, fruit. And the third one?
And the third question is, there is no third question. Did I say 3?
Yeah.
Oh, it's meant to be 2.
Good, 2 is easier to remember. You actually did say 3 before we had...
Must be my dyslexia.
Now, Anastasia says, can plants be cooked or are they better raw? Well, as you've just said...
Cooked or raw, doesn't matter.
Can be cooked, yeah. But without oil is
without oil.
Way healthier.
Because the oil is oil a whole food? It's not.
No.
It's there's no olive press hanging off an olive tree in nature. So eat the olive, not that. It takes 40 olives to create 1 tablespoon of olive oil.
Yes.
Now the proteins are gone from that, the carbohydrates are gone, the fiber's gone. So when you put that oil into your body, it doesn't know what to do with it, and it actually damages, according to the plant-based doctors, it damages your endothelial cells, which are the cells that line the inside wall of your artery. Whether it's coconut oil, whether it's olive oil, whether it's any vegetable oil.
Is it worse when it's heated, or it's just bad in any case with oils? I mean, you know, even if you had a salad and you put a cold oil on the salad, you know, because some people say, oh, that's okay, you know, or you can brush your teeth with oil pulling or something.
What's the 2 questions?
Okay.
What's the 2 questions?
We've got our answer.
What's the 2 questions?
I agree. I agree with you there on that one, but it still comes up a lot. And it probably always will come up. You know, and they're saying, oh, you know, this oil's a healthy oil, and it's like, So but I've listened to enough of the plant-based doctors saying no, oil is not healthy for you to agree with that. Yes.
And the only reason is it's a processed food.
It's a processed food, yes. Now, Anastasia brings up mentions there that she does raw juicing. Now, I was going to ask you about juicing and smoothies. Is there a place for them, or
Okay, Anastasia, is a juice the whole food? No, it's not. So eat the apple rather than juicing it. However, there is a place. If people are sick, people with cancer, people with heavy illnesses, there's good evidence that shows that juices, on fasting and things like that, really help it. So I'm not a medical trained person at all. I'm just a chef, okay, and I teach people how to incorporate plants into their life. But there's a lot of good plant-based doctors and naturopaths out there that can advise you to have juices and even oils sometimes, if for certain illnesses they say to have. So there's many ways, and I'm sure that I don't drink juice. I just eat the apples. I'm super healthy now. I don't.
What about someone that's just has a lazy habit of, like, they might have good intentions of wanting to have the fruit, but they never quite get there. So the closest they get there is like, oh, well, they don't want a juice because it's getting nutrients to them that they're just not getting any other way, because they're just not getting to the whole food. So,
well, a juice
it's serving a purpose. Then, isn't it?
And it's still a plant. It's better than better than drinking alcohol.
And I love that. I mean, I stopped.
Compared to what, He's a good compared to what?
I started and stopped drinking when I was 17.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm very, I'm like you. I haven't drunk for so long that I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it's so just to pay money to poison yourself.
Yeah.
It's just like, really, there is so many better things you could be doing with your life and your time and your money,
totally.
which would be benefiting you and benefiting your brain, not destroying the brain cells. And it's just like, really, do we need to have an artificial stimulant to have a good time?
Well, that's it. And
there's something drastically wrong if that's what we have to do.
And also a lot of suffering happens through alcohol. Domestic violence.
Yes.
We will do things that we wouldn't do if we weren't drunk.
Exactly.
And if we're vegan, really, if you're under the influence, you might do something out of anger that hurts somebody or some animal.
Yeah, good point.
Why do it?
Yeah.
When you're clear thinking, you just, because at the end of the day, we're vegan, to create more compassion, more love. We don't want anyone to suffer. So, I see that as going, don't do anything that creates suffering. Not on your body. Yeah. I don't want to create any suffering from my body. That's why I eat the whole food.
That's another point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't want to create any suffering for animals.
Yeah.
And I don't want to create any more damage on the planet.
And I love what you say, clear thinking. Clear thinking is where you are able to achieve things and progress in that, because you are in a state where things come to you and,
Totally. And you can listen to intuition.
You can listen to intuition. Yes.
And eating this way, eating plants, especially whole foods, being vegan, it raises your vibration.
Yes.
We're all energy. Your vibration raises, your consciousness raises, and then you start to see the world differently. Okay, you might come to this from a health point of view, but when your consciousness raises, you then start to see that animals, what they really are. They're a living being, and you don't want to create any suffering anymore. That's what naturally happens when you start to eat this way. Your vibration rises, your consciousness rises. And when that rises, you get access to intuition. If you're ever one of those people that go, oh, do I do this, do this at a crossroad? When you eat whole food, plant-based, vegan, you get access to intuition, and you can make clear choices with absolute certainty, and you just have the confidence to go down that path. There's no question about it. And it just creates more love.
Well said.
Thanks.
And I like that. And it creates more love. Beautiful.
Creates more love.
Well said.
Nothing.
And even just finishing off on that topic too, about the poisonous nature of alcohol, is that the most recent studies have now said any amount of alcohol is damaging. They used to say, you can have a glass a day, whatever. In the last year or two, they've now come out and said any amount. And I'm like, yes, well, I knew that, but at least they're now officially saying it.
So good, man.
So good. Do you take supplements? No. Okay.
B12.
B12. Yes.
Yeah. Now, all the plant-based doctors say that So B12 is actually a microorganism that grows in the ground. The animals get it from eating the grass and the soil. If we grow our own vegetables organically and we pick it and eat it from the garden, give it a light wash, there'll be B12 on those plants. And you can get enough B12 from eating that way. You know, if you had your own vegetables, got your B12 done and you're being vegan, a lot of people, actually their B12s are really good and they don't have to take a supplement. Now, if you're buying all your food from supermarkets and they're not straight out of the garden, they're all washed and there's no B12.
Yeah.
So all the plant-based doctors say, because if you're eating that way, which most people are, it's essential to take a supplement. And you just spray it on your tongue. Yeah. And you have no issues. But you need to take it if you, get your B12 checked. Yes. And if you're eating organically from your garden and your levels are good, and you don't need to take a supplement. But if you are deficient in it or getting low in it, you have to, because it's not a good thing. It damages the nervous system. Yeah, it has neurological, irreversible neurological damage. Totally. Yes. So, and that's not just, I think it's 40% of the population, I think the statistics were, suffers from low B12, and it affects people across the board, whether they're meat eaters, vegetarians or vegans. So, that's a really important one. Does cooked vegetables destroy the nutrients? Anastasia asks. Yeah, of course, it does. Yeah. But if it's cold, it's nice to eat a warm, moist food. If you have anxiety, I've studied a little bit of Ayurveda, which is an ancient Indian medicine. Yes, that's right. Medicine. Yes, and they do. I know where you're going with this. Yeah. Yes. So if you have anxiety, the best thing you can do, according to Ayurveda, is have a warm water, eat warm, moist food like casseroles and curries and soups and broths. That'll bring your anxiety straight down. In Ayurveda, that's called vata, when you've got the anxiety happening, and aggravation, vata aggravation. Or you wrap yourself in a shawl or whatever. So, cooked food, there's nothing wrong with cooked food. I eat cooked food. I eat raw food. This is what I eat. For breakfast, I very rarely have breakfast. I usually eat around 11 o'clock these days. And I have a banana berry bowl. So I put 2 bananas and a couple of cups of frozen berries into a blender, puree it, put it in a coconut bowl, top it with some, some cacao nibs or buckwheat and some walnuts, some ground flax seeds from omega-3s and 6s, some hemp seeds, and I eat that. Then for lunch is always, this is the raw I have every day. I always have 4 handfuls of leafy greens. Yeah. So, and all the plant-based doctors say you need to eat 4 handfuls of leafy greens a day. Leafy greens, they dilate your arteries, they're anti-inflammatory, they've got phytonutrients, they're super good stuff, and they equal health. So for lunch, I have a big salad with roasted vegetables in it or baked vegetables in it, lots of all different things, cashew sour creams, or I like bowls, so I have burrito bowls and all that sort of stuff. So I have them for lunch, and then for dinner I'll have stir fries or curries with loads of Asian greens in it, and I eat those ones cooked. So cooked or raw, doesn't matter. It's all good food. The important thing is it's a plant. Yes. Now, Lisa says the fat you eat is the fat you wear. That's a Durian writer comment. Anastasia says, I juice spinach, carrots, celery for my liver. Good on you. Yeah. They'd still help your liver if you ate them whole too. Yeah, good point. Yeah. John says you can get a lot of raw veggies in when you juice. Some people just can't get enough. And I actually used to eat, when I first started eating this way, I ate heaps. Okay, when I ate the Ironman, I ate even more. Now, I surf just about every day. I run every day. I don't ride much anymore, and so I'm still pretty active. Yeah. And 2 big bowls of food a day is all I need, and I'm fully nourished. Wow. So it's got to, if it's whole food, you're getting everything you need, man. Okay. Sarah says, love it, mindful eating, which is very important. Yeah. John says, food can teach you through osmosis, the process of gradual or unconscious assimilation of ideas and knowledge, etc. Yes, well said, John.
That's good. We got it through all the comments. We caught up with all the comments. I'm like, what do I do now? Actually, I look at what we're doing now. We're actually gone past the hour, but that's all right. It's the vegan hour and a bit tonight.
Yeah.
because we had this transmission break in the middle. But I wanted to ask you earlier, because a couple of questions I wanted to ask before we finish up tonight was, so the program you've been talking about, where you're helping people to get back on track, health-wise. If anyone is interested to join that or find out more about the program, where should they get that information from?
Go to ifeelgood.com.au.
Let me type that in right now.
.com.au or go to adamguthrie.com.
Let's see if that worked. I feel good. Hopefully that worked. And that's brought it up. Okay, so I've just brought it up there, and I'll put in your other site,
adamguthrie.com. Yeah, go to either of those. It's there's a waiting list there. Put your name in, and when I open it up again, you're welcome to join the next program.
And it's an online program.
It's an online program. The community is amazing. It's fantastic. And I've got a retreat running in 2 weeks in Byron Bay. I run retreats for a weekend that teach people how to eat this way and live this lifestyle. So it's, eat, move and pause. So the Byron retreat... It's all about transformation and discovering what your true purpose is.
I like it.
Yeah.
The Byron retreat in 2 weeks' time, that's already booked out, isn't it?
Yeah, this one is.
Yeah. And then there'll be another one coming up sometime in the future?
Yeah, I'll probably run another one after Christmas in the New Year.
Yeah, okay, because we're getting towards the end of the year.
We are.
Yeah, I have to buy Christmas presents soon.
Vegan ones.
Yeah, that's the only ones you get. Lisa says it was a wonderful vegan hour. Now, I wanted to mention also that in the first part, the link to your Facebook page was in there as well, which I'll put it up in the title of the I Feel Good magazine Facebook page, where you can find out about I Feel Good magazine. You can probably go to the app from there and download it and so forth. What can we finish off with that is very important that we haven't discussed tonight? Is there anything that we've left out?
There's only one thing. I think, a lot of us feel like there's something missing in our lives. Yeah. And I think, being vegan helps you come in contact with what the real meaning of life is, which is love. Beautiful. And I think once we discover that, we discover our true purpose. And I see this as a vegan diet as the yoga of food. That's what I see, and because yoga is to raise consciousness, and food does that. And eating vegan, especially whole food, actually, this is really interesting. Yes. Okay. Yes. I did a cooking class at a yoga center a few years back. Right. And a lady gave a talk on the same night who was a yoga teacher, and she studied with Patabi Joyce, who was one of the yogis in India that brought yoga to the West. Okay. She lived with him for 10 years. Okay. And he then said to her, you need to leave and go and teach. And she said, but I don't want to. I just want to stay here and do my practice with you. And he said, no, it's your destiny to go teach now. So she didn't want to, but out of devotion to her teacher that gave her this knowledge and out of respect for him, she followed his instructions. Yes. And so she did. And she was telling this in her talk. Yeah. And she said, even today, many years later, I prefer just to be at home doing my own practice. Right. But because he has asked me to do it, I do it out of love for him because he gave me so much through this practice. Yeah. I resonated with that because the yogic path that I follow, a meditation path, is about devotion. Yes. So, and I haven't heard many yogis talk about that. Devotion. Interesting. So I resonated. I hang out with her a bit, and she said, Adam, with what you're doing with the food here, there's this little unknown book called The Yoga of Food. And it was only a very short print. It's out of print. Many years ago, an English guy wrote it. Yeah. I've got a copy. Yeah. You need to start the conversation about it. And I said, okay. And she couldn't find the book. So then I went and found a second-hand copy on Amazon. It arrived, opened it up, and it's got these markings in it. I show her, it's her book. So I'm going, you need to teach this stuff. So that's what I do. And the yoga of food is about the consciousness that you plant the seed with. the consciousness that you tend the garden with, the consciousness that you harvest it with, it's actually the intention. It's actually, the intention is doing it in devotion to that energy that is inside you, inside me, every single living being on the earth, every animal, every plant, that energy is in all of us. And it's doing it with gratitude to that plant and to that energy. And then when you bring it to the table, the energy you cook it with love.
That's right.
And then how you offer it to your guests who eat it with love.
That's
and then how you can, before you eat it, the intention you have it with. And that is the yoga of food.
That's fantastic. And that is a fulfilling service.
Yeah.
That's where we find our happiness.
Totally. That is where happiness is found.
And
it brings you to the present, the moment.
Yes. And the other thing that occurred to me too, then also when you're talking about love, is that love is the ultimate form of respect.
Totally.
Yeah. So that's what you said there is just the best way to go out on the show. Thank you very, very much for coming along. It's been an awesome episode. This is look at it. So I want to say thank you very much to everyone. That's all your comments and everything. And this episode will be on YouTube tomorrow. In one part, not in two parts. Well, two parts joined together into one part. Yeah. I will be back in 2 weeks' time on Tuesday, November the 13th for episode 23, and that is with the owner of the fully vegan takeaway called Familiar Takeaway, which is down sort of your way. It's a Casuarina, actually. Okay. Sam Elliott. He's a young bloke. He started 6 months ago, fully vegan cafe, which is just going fantastic down there.
Check that one out.
You've got to check it out. Yeah. So thanks again, everyone, for watching. Thanks again for coming. Adam, it's been absolutely fantastic.
Pleasure.
Live vegan and all your.
No, I can't do it. Yes.
Live vegan and save lives, and I'll see you soon. Good night, everyone. Good night.